Hey, welcome to the Well-Worn Path. I'm Pastor Mark. It's been a little while since we've been able to get down here to record, so we got we're going to have a long walk, but we're going to divide it up today, okay? So anyway, got a lot to discuss on this walk, but let's talk about this one first. I got a little axe to grind here this morning. So, I mean, it's no secret, just heard from a friend of mine about two guys that got into a heated argument at church about politics and everything else. And, I am tired of seeing something. I'm just going to say what I got to say here. It's like a Festivus for the rest of us. I got issues with you people, and I'm going to share them. Anyway, maybe it is with you. I don't know. I see this stuff on Facebook over and over again. If you like this person, you can unfriend me. Or if you are in favor of this, you can unfriend me. Honestly. And folks, this is not from young people. This is from quote unquote adults. Now, I've been pondering this. Not a lot, because I don't want to give a lot of energy to it, but enough for me to do this video. Here's the thing. Why do I have to unfriend you if I don't agree with you? Let me just say this right up there. You don't get to decide that. You don't get to tell me to unfriend you. If you want to unfriend me, go ahead. It's Facebook, for crying out loud. Do you think I really care? I think this is the deal. When you say, well, if you don't agree with me, then you can unfriend me. Oh, and then ... ellipsis. Isn't that what it is, Andy? Yes, ellipsis, whatever it is, That way, I can tell people how mean you are that you, not only do you disagree with me, but you unfriended me. You know what that is? That's cowardly. If you know that I don't agree with you, and you say, well, you have to unfriend me. No, I don't. Because if we're friends, I'm not going to let that come between us. If maybe we're not as good of friends as I thought we were, though, if you're going to let that come between us, that I have to agree with you. And here's what really kills me, people. This is Christians who I see doing this. I confess most of the people that I'm friends with are probably believers. And they're posting this on there. It's sad. It's just sad. If you don't agree with me, then you can unfriend me. Number one, I'm not going to give you that kind of power over me. You don't get to decide that for me. Okay, let's just get that straight right now. And if I guess if that upsets you and you want to unfriend me, you can, but don't send me a message saying, well, you can unfriend me, Pastor Mark, because I don't agree with you. No, you don't understand. You don't get that decision in my life. You don't get to decide that. Is that really how Jesus wants us to operate as Christians? Well, if they don't agree with you, do you know how many people? I got a ton of people that don't agree with me. I might have been with some of them this morning. Theologically, I have friends that I don't agree with on everything, but we agree in the essentials, and we agree to disagree, and we are respectful toward each other. Because we're grown-ups. Well, you like Orange Man. I don't like Orange Man, so you have to unfriend me. No, I don't. I'm using that as an example. I'm not making a political statement there, okay? This is the junk I see on Facebook. We can't be friends if we're not in agreement. Well, we're probably not friends in the first place then. These are hard words, I know. And maybe you need to unfriend me because I guess we're just not friends. Really? Wow. Wow. I see stuff all the time that I don't agree with on Facebook. I'm like, you know what? Okay. I see it differently. No, there have been stuff I have unfriended people for. They put to me, inappropriate pictures on Facebook, or they have just been acted in ways that I can't line myself up with. And there are times people cross the line. I get that, but I don't say to them, "Well, you need to unfriend me because you said this and I don't like it." No. I'll take that power back to myself and I'll say, "You know what? I'm unfriending you. That I can't have that in my life." Wow. I don't even know if I need to go any further. I mean, scripture-wise, there's probably a ton of things I could bring out in here. Well, how about if you love me, you would agree with me. No, that's not true. You know what that is? That's just plain carnality, and I'm sick and tired of that too in the church. I don't comment a lot on stuff on Facebook, and I watched one this week, and I'm like, it was just sheer nastiness. And I probably need to, as a pastor, have a conversation with a couple people, and probably will. Well, love, that means we have to accept it. No, it does not. No, it does not. And how come, here's the thing, this is this judging thing. Well, they're being judgmental. Wait a minute. If you're judging them that they're judgmental, that means you're being judgmental too. Well, no. It doesn't apply to me. It only applies to them. You know what? If you spot it, you got it. And I'm going to judge you for judging me for judging you. Do you see how ridiculous this is? We all have judgments, by the way. It's what we do with them. And if you're a Christian and you don't go along with the world, then you're judgmental. Well, then so be it. No, I have judgments about how I think people should act. In fact, I was going to do another thing. I might do it, but I ran across this quote the other day from Marcus Aurelius, a pagan philosopher, but he says this: "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." So let's translate this over to other areas. Waste no more time arguing what a good Christian should be. Be one. And I'm not talking about a person that says they're a Christian and that they storm a church. Yeah, there you go. That might lose some people. But I'm sorry, that was not right. Would they do it to a mosque? Would they do it to an Islamic center? Would they do it to a different church? Really? And then you call yourself a Christian. Folks, we got to get rid of the politics and some stuff and start saying, wait a minute, wrong is wrong and right is right. But see, when you don't have that standard, you don't have something that decides this is what it is, you're going to do that. And I know you can get into it. There's some Christians say, well, we're supposed to welcome the alien. And we're supposed to, the person, but that we are a country of order too, and laws, and you have to follow them, but I don't. We see that in politics today, don't we? And Jesus said this is going to happen. Folks, we need to check ourselves before we start checking everybody else. I love this. Going back to that judgment thing, here's the funny thing. Well, Jesus said you were not supposed to judge. He said, no, don't judge unless you yourself are judged. And then you know what he says? You got to look at the context. You got to look at the context. A text without a context is a pretext. It means it's your opinion. You have to look at that and look at the rest of it. And he says, take the plank out of your own eye before you help get the speck out of your neighbor's eye. There's too many of us are trying to do eye surgery on someone else when we can't see because we're blinded by our own opinions and prejudices. And I'm probably guilty of that myself sometimes. and I got to take a look at it. You have people all the time say, well, I don't want to go to church because, the pastor he's preaching on things that I don't like. Yeah, I preach almost every Sunday on things that I don't like either. And I tell my church, I don't feel sorry for you if you're upset by this because I've been getting it all week. So, folks, I'm going to wrap up this little segment of our walk today. There's a lot here for you to think about, and I hope you think about it. We need to start really taking an assessment and not sitting here thinking about, well, because you don't like someone in another party or whatever. That's not a reason to be against something. Well, I don't like that person, so I don't like that politician, so I just got to throw it all out. How about you really start using your head for once? And start thinking some things through and say, well, that makes sense. And you might start actually realizing, wow, that I don't like that, but I don't like the person. There's many times like, why, there's a thing I see on social media sometimes. I realize now that it wasn't that my dad was wrong. I just didn't like the tone and what he said it. He was still probably right about a lot of things. Gosh, we got to grow up, people. We got to grow up. I'm going to end it there. Thanks for joining me. Hope you'll join me on the rest of our walk. I'm Pastor Mark. Grace and peace.